All right, welcome to week 2. Very successful week 1. Our week 1 payout goes to Brian Leeper for $10 for most running back points, with Adrian Peterson, Shane Breen, and David Wilson, although David Wilson did not contribute to the cause. We had several trades this week, no real big blockbusters, a lot of wide receiver 3s, running back 3s and 4s, switching teams, nothing major to discuss.
What about the one that just happened?
There, yes, Ingram and Pierre Thomas to Todd for
Danny Woodhead, Ronnie Hillman, and Kembrell Tompkins.
Yeah, exact 3s and 4s and same thing.
You wait till tomorrow. You'll be texting me, what do you want for Kembrell? What do you want for Kembrell?
Yeah, I would take Kembrell, but Todd wanted Lamar Miller.
Maybe Kembrell for Lamar Miller.
Yeah, no.
Hey, we're negotiating right here. Fuck the chat.
There are some people with some noticeable running back holes still. Todd was one of them, but he secured the Saints 10 running backs.
So he gets 4 carries.
Drew still has them. Burt still has some. Whipple still has some holes. You guys need to keep working those trades.
So they're having problems plugging the hole?
Yes. And then
makes sense.
The craziest game of the week while we're talking about it probably goes to Todd, who, as we all know, had Peyton Manning and Demaryius Thomas last Thursday. Had 95-plus points. Looked like he had it completely locked up. Leeper even thought he lost. Todd thought he had won. Everybody thought Todd had won. Then Leeper comes back. He's up 20 going into Monday night, and that's in spite of David Wilson going -2. And Todd won by, 4.5 points because of David Wilson's 2 fumbles.
That's wet spots and purple magic, right?
Yes. Yes, that is. Okay. Their team names are by their names as well.
So if you had a purple magic creates a wet spot.
No, purple magic does not create wet spots.
Okay. Maybe that's a Roman helmet.
Yes. The fab budget seemed to go pretty well for most people. Julian Edelman was by far the most coveted player. Went to the
Panty
Hamsters for about 63% of his budget.
Dang!
But you got the guy he wanted. If Amendola's out for a long time, Edelman's going to play a big role, I think most people feel like.
What did Edelman have, 10 catches last week?
2 touchdowns. Touchdowns make you win.
He had about 10 catches last year, and he goes for 63% fab.
Really happy with the chat room this past week. It shows up right on the live scoring on ESPN, and talking to some people with iPhones, they can bring it up on their app, which if you can do it on an Android phone, I haven't figured out how. If you know how, please let me know.
Does it work on an iPad?
Yes, it does work on an iPad. My dad said it worked on an iPad, but a lot of people were in it. The only people that actually did not make a chat room appearance were Andy Nelson and Brian Leeper. So I'd like to see you both in there Sunday. You don't have to say anything. You just work. Well, we're out a trade-off every now and then.
We're too busy coaching our squads to 150-point efforts.
That's true. We did have a lot of high scores this week. But
how many points do you get?
110 or something.
Is that a high score?
No, it's bottom 6. Our week 2 payout this week is most wide receiver points, $10. This does include the guy you start in your flex. So week 2 matchups are Roman Helmets versus Purple Magic.
Is Darren Sproles a wide receiver?
He's a running back, but he's basically a wide receiver.
So does he count the wide receiver points?
He is a running back listed by definition by the NFL Players Association. Deacon Booze versus Wet Spots. Bert, who is log jamming, versus Brad, the meat wagon driver. Justin, Sexual Napalm versus Josh, the trade hater, who's actually made 2 trades this year. Carl, Panty Hamsters versus Drew, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, who does not have Mr. Aaron Rodgers at all. Andy Nelson, the former champion, Barmet Poontang, who's now Cayman Cider, versus Blake, who is used to be the English keeper. Yeah, McNut in your face. This is actually going to be the Crybaby Bowl, the 2 people that like to bitch the most about the smallest things in the world.
What? I haven't said a thing yet this year.
Yeah, this year, it's week 1. John Whipple versus Don Anderson. If you guys don't know, they both work together for Capital City Fruit. Carl happens.
It's a fruit bowl.
Yeah, actually, it's not. Carl happens to be their boss, so this is actually the Carl's Bitches Bowl. So they can battle for that this week.
Maybe it's a fruity bowl then.
No, it's just they're Carl's bitches, so they're going to fight to be the number 1 bitch this week. What was your most disappointing for week 1, Andy, do you think?
Well, most disappointing would have to be David Wilson. All the hype when Andre Brown goes down, David Wilson's going to be the next coming of Reggie Bush. Or Darren Sproles, going to catch 10 balls out of the backfield, going to rush for 100 yards, going to have 100 receiving, 100 rush. Timeout. Damn bitches be texting me. I'll call you later, home. So, David Wilson. The biggest part of his disappointment is, had he not fumbled the 2 times he fumbled, Leaper wins. So, that's obviously the biggest disappointment when you cost your owner the win.
Your most surprising this week?
Most surprising, and I hate to say it because he's going to tell everyone multiple different times, is Julius Thomas from the Denver Broncos. Carl was talking praise about him at the draft, saying he's the next coming of Jesus, and he thought he was the next coming of Jesus so much that he dropped him the day after draft day, then decided to pick him up for $30 more. But Julius Thomas, 26 points week 1, biggest surprise.
Trade him for Anquan Bolden.
Yes. Another surprise, 39 points. But
yeah. Who's your lock of the week to win this week?
Lock of the week. Speaking of the panty hamsters, I'm going to go with the panty hamsters. The new addition of Anquan Bolden's going to fit well in that flex spot. He got rid of Julius Thomas for... they trade for each other, didn't they?
Yeah, Julius Thomas for Anquan Bolden.
But ultimately, it's his opponent he's going against. Drew's kind of in the weeds already here, week 1. He's kind of reeling, looking to get his wheels back.
But he's got AJ Green and Reggie Bush, and that's it though. But that's all you need apparently to score 150 points.
Bush. Fair enough.
And Jordan Cameron.
You know Reggie Bush dislocated his thumb week 1?
And pulled a hamstring.
So,
a lot of people predict Reggie Bush to be the number 1 running back the first 4 weeks of the season, then miss the rest of the year.
So, who's got Joik?
Drew does now. Trade him for Stephen Ridley. So that was a
aggressive trade. And if I remember correctly, Drew is so confused that he doesn't know who to start at running back, so he's starting both Detroit running backs this week.
He doesn't have any other options.
Makes sense.
So
disclaimer.
Yeah,
trade Drew a running back.
Yeah, a lot. So
because he plays this guy, don't he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He plays.
Cameo.
Not me.
There he is.
That's our producer.